There is a specific kind of tired that sleep cannot fix. You know exactly the feeling I am talking about because it is a permanent heavy weight sitting squarely on your tired chest. You work hard every single day. You read the books. You put in the endless hours while the rest of the world simply sleeps, but the massive breakthrough you were promised never seems to arrive. It feels completely unfair. It feels as though you are driving with the emergency brake pulled tight. You push the pedal to the floor. The engine screams. You are burning precious fuel and you are burning yourself out, yet you barely move forward. I am here to tell you a vital truth. This ongoing struggle is not a lack of effort, and you certainly do not have a motivation problem at all. You are simply fighting an invisible war you do not understand. Society tells you to push harder and hustle until you break. They preach that wealth is just a math equation of sweat and time. But you have already done that. You have bled for your vision. You have sacrificed your peace for a future that always stays just out of reach, and the rewards they promised are missing. If brutal hard work was the only requirement, you would be incredibly wealthy by now. But you are not wealthy yet. Instead, you watch other people succeed with zero apparent effort. You see men of average intelligence attract massive wealth. They seem to stumble into lucrative opportunities. Money flows to them like water down a mountain, and they never seem to carry the heavy burdens that you drag around every single day. And you sit there wondering what is wrong with you. You wonder if God has forgotten you entirely. You wonder if your family is cursed to struggle forever. You are not cursed. Heaven has not forgotten your name. But there is a spiritual and biological law governing this universe. It dictates exactly when and how the greatest miracles arrive. And here is the brutal reality that no one wants to admit. God often waits until your physical strength is completely gone before he moves, because a miracle requires an empty vessel to receive it properly. He waits until you are utterly exhausted. He waits until your hustle finally breaks. Why does it happen this way? Because as long as you rely on your own frantic energy, you block the divine flow. Your desperate hustle broadcasts a frequency of severe lack. You are telling the universe that you are in absolute survival mode, and the universe simply mirrors your internal state by giving you even more hardship. It gives you more struggle to match your exhausted vibration. You are literally repelling your own blessing. You cannot outwork a misaligned spirit. You cannot force reality to bend by sheer willpower alone. When you are operating from a place of panic, your mind becomes a chaotic storm. Fear takes the wheel. Anxiety dictates your daily choices, and a mind consumed by worry cannot perceive the quiet opportunities that heaven places directly in your path, leaving you completely blind to your own miracles. The harder you force it, the further it runs. This is the ultimate paradox of the Creator. You must desire the outcome with a burning obsession, but you must release the desperate need to control every single step. Your physical strength has a strict limit. Your human endurance will always run out eventually, and that exact moment of failure is secretly your greatest spiritual advantage. It is the moment your ego finally steps aside. It is the moment you truly surrender control. When your strength is gone, your frantic mind finally goes quiet. The desperate survival wave stops broadcasting, and in that beautiful silence, a new frequency begins to hum. It is a dormant power you have carried since birth, but it was entirely buried under years of chronic stress and relentless societal conditioning. This is where modern neuroscience meets ancient spiritual wisdom. Your body is built for abundance. You have tried to manifest wealth using the law of attraction. You have visualized your dream life. You have written your goals 100 times. But the financial wealth never actually materializes, leaving you feeling incredibly frustrated and completely abandoned by the universe. You are trying to manifest abundance while your internal receiver is powered down. You are speaking into a broken radio and expecting an answer. You must understand the hidden architecture of your own mind. The gap between your current bank account and the elite 1% is not hustle. It is not poor financial planning. It is entirely biological. Deep inside your brain is a microscopic region responsible for receiving these cosmic signals, And in the truly wealthy, this region acts as a permanent vacuum for money and pure luck. They do not chase wealth, they attract it naturally. But for the average person, the reality is much darker. Because you were not born into enormous wealth, you inherited a biological disadvantage. The relentless daily grind has forced your brain into a perpetual state of defense. Every time you stress over unpaid bills, your receiver shrinks a little more, and your God-given ability to attract abundance is pushed deeper and deeper into dormancy. You are trapped in survival mode. Before we dive deeper, I want to plant a vital seed in your mind. There is something very important hidden from the general public. It is a biological secret discovered not in a motivational book, but inside a classified laboratory. It is a truth funded by elite billionaires and verified by top-tier neuroscience, and it finally explains the frustrating gap between your grand vision and your physical reality. I will reveal exactly what this is before we finish today. But first, you must completely understand your own breaking point. You must understand why the divine forces waited for you to collapse. So hold this important question in your mind right now. What if your struggle to attract abundance is not a lack of hustle, but rather a dormant frequency just waiting to be switched on? What if your exhaustion is the key? By the end of this chapter, you will know exactly how to flip that switch. You will understand the invisible mechanism running in your brain right now. The drifter will hear this message and completely ignore it, returning to his invisible prison of hard labor and endless worry. But the true master will listen carefully. The Creator will equip himself with this truth. Stay with me. Your old life ends today. The universe operates by law and not by clock. It does not care about your personal timeline at all. You beg for a miracle to arrive today. You plead for financial relief right now. But the universe responds to frequency and not to human desperation, because the spiritual world requires you to align your internal state before it delivers physical results. When you are desperate, you block the very blessing you are praying to receive. The drifter believes he can force the world to obey him. He grinds his bones into dust, trying to make money. He sacrifices his health to climb an invisible ladder. And when he inevitably fails, he blames the economy or his bad luck, while completely refusing to understand that reality is just a mirror reflecting his internal chaos. It simply reflects the internal state you hold. The Creator understands a completely different set of rules. The Creator knows that wealth is not chased down and captured. Wealth is magnetized to a specific biological state of being. You do not get what you want in this life. You get exactly what you are deep inside. And if you are completely exhausted, you will only attract more exhaustion into your physical reality. This is an absolute law. This brings us to the moment your physical strength finally vanishes. Why is this specific moment so incredibly important for your destiny? Because your ego is too tired to fight the natural flow anymore. Your frantic mind is forced to sit in complete silence, and in that heavy silence your true power can finally begin to wake up from its long slumber. But here is the brutal truth the elite do not want you to know. The reason the universe responds to the 1% is not because they work harder than you. It is not because they visualize better or have stronger daily discipline. It is entirely biological, because deep inside your brain is a tiny walnut-sized region called the hippocampus. This changes everything. In the insanely wealthy, this region is thick and highly developed. It is constantly broadcasting a microscopic frequency that pulls money toward them like a vacuum. It pulls in lucrative opportunities and incredible luck without any hard labor. They simply exist, and the world hands them massive fortunes because their receiver is fully turned on and perfectly aligned with abundance. But for the average person, the reality is much darker. Because you were not born into an 8-figure family, you inherited a biological disadvantage. Science calls it a shrunken hippocampus. Instead of broadcasting a wealth frequency, your brain is trapped broadcasting a survival wave, and the modern world is intentionally designed to keep it exactly that way forever. With its endless stacks of bills and exhausting hustle culture, society keeps you stressed. Every time you panic over money, this tiny region shrinks a little more. Your natural God-given ability to attract abundance is pushed completely into dormancy. This is exactly why you can read every self-help book with absolutely zero real results, while still feeling stuck in the exact same place year after year. You are trying to manifest wealth while your internal receiver is completely powered down. You end up chasing money endlessly while the elite simply let it flow. It is a biological block, passed down, quietly sabotaging your highest potential, and most people will go to their graves believing they just did not work hard enough in their miserable lives. You are not most people. You are the architect of your own destiny. And remember the question I asked you to hold a few minutes ago. What if your struggle was just a dormant frequency waiting to be switched on? You are about to see that the answer is scientifically proven, and it is much closer to your grasp than you could ever possibly imagine. The solution already exists. Top-tier neuroscientists have recently discovered something truly incredible. They found a precise acoustic frequency capable of breaking this biological dormancy. It can actually grow this shrunken region and pull you out of the survival wave. I will tell you exactly what this is called a little later, but first we must look closely at the law governing your mind. You must understand how your thoughts build the physical world around you. Every thought is a seed, and every action is water. Your reality is simply the harvest of what you planted in the dark. The drifter plants seeds of fear every single night before he sleeps, and his subconscious tirelessly builds that exact reality while he lies in his bed. Your subconscious is a tireless contractor that never takes a day off. It builds exactly what you instruct it to build before you sleep. If you go to sleep in terror, your mind spends the next 8 hours building scarcity. You wake up into a world that feels heavy and impossible to conquer, because you are literally programming your own failure every single night. You must break this pattern. The Creator stops this destructive cycle by taking absolute control. He becomes the sovereign commander of his own mental architecture. Even when his bank account is completely empty, he commands his mind to focus on abundance. He acts as if the wealth is already his to claim, and he walks and talks like a wealthy king before the physical crown even arrives. When you reach that terrifying edge, you finally stop trying to hustle. You stop trying to force the wrong doors to open for you. You surrender the process and you completely focus on the final destination. And that is the exact moment the universe floods your life with massive miracles, because it is the beautiful paradox of total surrender and joyful receiving. You must let go completely. Do not let current circumstances convince you that you are losing. Your breakthrough is gathering energy just beneath the surface of your current reality. But to pull it into the physical world, you need to look at history. How did the greatest men in history build empires when they had absolutely nothing? How did they command such incredible power? They did not rely on endless physical labor to achieve their massive goals. They understood a secret mental protocol that you can easily replicate tonight. They knew how to bypass the survival wave and tap directly into infinite intelligence. By the end of this next chapter, you will understand their secret mechanism completely, and you will learn how to wield it. Let us continue. Let us look to the example of the greatest minds in history. How did a man like Andrew Carnegie build a massive steel empire from nothing? He was not born into wealth. He faced brutal exhaustion and countless failures early in his journey, but he understood that physical labor alone would never make him a king. He knew he had to become the master of his fate first. He did not try to force reality with sheer panic. When his physical strength was gone, he retreated into complete mental silence. He tapped into an invisible frequency that aligned his mind with infinite intelligence, and this practice turned him into a living magnetic force for massive wealth. The drifter panics in the dark while the Creator simply builds in the silence. Thomas Edison operated on this exact same principle. He failed thousands of times while trying to invent the light bulb. If he relied only on human motivation, he would have quit in deep despair. But Edison knew how to quiet his conscious mind and enter a state of deep reception. He let the universe deliver the perfect solution directly into his resting brain. These historical titans were not uniquely blessed by God. They were simply utilizing a biological mechanism that modern science is only now beginning to understand. This is where the ancient spiritual laws meet top-tier neuroscience. For decades, the public was told that wealth required endless hustle and ruthless competition, but the elite knew that was a massive lie. Before we go any further, I have to share a breakthrough that changes everything. It is something the elite billionaires have spent vast fortunes to keep hidden from the public. A rogue neuroscientist, formerly working on classified CIA experiments, recently leaked a shocking discovery. He and a team of researchers found a way to wake up that dormant wealth frequency. They discovered how to rapidly reverse the effects of a shrunken hippocampus, and they did not do it through decades of exhausting meditation or waking up early to force a hustle mindset. They discovered something infinitely simpler and far more powerful than all of that combined. It is a precise and perfectly engineered 7-minute acoustic sound wave. When you listen to this specific sound frequency, it bypasses your conscious mind entirely. It directly stimulates that tiny ancient region of your brain while you simply rest. 4 independent neuroscience labs have already verified this incredible biological reaction. Researchers at Harvard and Yale are observing this exact brainwave activation right now on their campuses. They found that once this unique frequency is heard, it forces the brain to stop broadcasting the survival wave. It immediately flips the switch on your natural biological ability to attract wealth and massive luck. It is a completely effortless ritual you can do at home. Just 7 minutes a day, and the energetic shift begins the very first time you decide to listen. I will tell you exactly what this is called and how you can access this frequency for yourself before this message ends. But first, there is one final piece of the puzzle you must understand. You must understand why the law of attraction has been failing you all these years. You have been lied to about how the universe actually receives your daily mental commands. Society teaches you that wishing for wealth is enough. They tell you to just think positive thoughts and hope for the best, but hoping is the language of the weak drifter. The sovereign commander does not hope because he expects reality to obey his well-trained mind. The universe ignores your fragile hopes and only responds to your deepest dominant frequency. Your conscious mind is very small compared to the vast ocean of your subconscious. You can repeat affirmations all day long until your throat hurts. But if your subconscious is still trapped in a survival state, it will block every single word you say. It is like planting beautiful seeds in poisoned soil and wondering why the beautiful garden never grows. This is exactly why the acoustic protocol is so crucial for your evolution. You cannot outwill a severely misprogrammed mind with sheer effort. You must recode the deep architecture of your brain before you take any physical action. The drifter ignores this truth and continues to struggle in endless circles. The Creator equips himself with every possible advantage. When your strength is gone, it is a divine signal to stop forcing things. It is an invitation to step back and repair your biological receiver. Heaven wants to bless you with overwhelming abundance, but it needs you to put down the heavy shovel and simply tune your mind to the right station. You must become the mental gatekeeper of your own thoughts right now. Once you restore the proper brainwave state, the struggle completely vanishes. You will suddenly find yourself in the right place at the right time. Lucrative opportunities will appear out of thin air as if guided by an invisible hand. You will no longer chase the money because you will become the center of gravity for it. The money will have to chase you. But knowing this biological law is only the beginning of your journey. Knowledge without strict application is entirely useless. You must learn how to integrate this truth into your daily routine. How do you protect your mind from the toxic noise of the world while this new frequency takes root? What exactly must you do when the sun goes down tonight? Now we are getting incredibly close to the thing you can actually do. The theory is clear, and the science is completely undeniable. But the execution requires a specific level of discipline that most men lack. In the next section, I will reveal the exact night ritual used by the elite. Prepare yourself to tear down the habits of the average man forever. Now, let us make this incredibly practical. Knowing the biological law is not enough if you continue your toxic habits. The drifter listens to wisdom and does absolutely nothing to change his miserable life, while the creator takes immediate action to rewrite his future. You must begin a process called cosmic housekeeping tonight. It is time to clean your mental temple. Cosmic housekeeping requires absolute ruthlessness with your time and your focus. You must cut off every toxic influence that drains your precious energy. Look closely at the people you spend your days talking to. Are they builders or are they chronic complainers? The universe will not hand a massive empire to a man who tolerates weak company. You must protect your mental space. The same rule applies strictly to the media you consume every day. You watch the news and you absorb the fear of the masses. You scroll through endless digital garbage that programs your mind for severe anxiety, and you wonder why your life feels so incredibly heavy. You must stop poisoning your own subconscious if you want to be wealthy. The architect of destiny does not consume garbage. He carefully curates every single thought. This brings us to the most important ritual of your entire day. The last 15 minutes before you fall asleep dictate your whole tomorrow. The drifter takes his worries to bed and lets them multiply in the dark, but the sovereign commander treats his bedroom like a sacred temple of creation. You must completely master this crucial nighttime transition. I want you to make a firm decision right now. Say this aloud to yourself with absolute conviction in your voice. I am the master of my fate, and I command my reality. Let the vibration of those words settle deep into your physical body. You are not a victim of circumstance anymore. You are a magnetic force designed for massive abundance. When you lie down tonight, you must completely empty your tired mind. Do not think about the frustrating bills you still need to pay. Do not replay the angry arguments you had earlier in the day. Your physical strength is gone, and that is exactly how it should be. You must surrender the heavy burden to the infinite intelligence of the universe. You must hold one single image in your mind as you drift away. This is your definite chief aim, and it must be absolutely clear. Do not ask for 1,000,000 different little things. Demand the one massive transformation that will change your family lineage forever, and hold that single beautiful image until you finally fall asleep. Let the subconscious do the hard work. But here is where the average man fails completely. He tries to visualize wealth, but his shrunken hippocampus physically rejects the image. His brain is stuck on a survival wave that blocks the manifestation entirely. You cannot outwill a misprogrammed mind, no matter how hard you try. Your biological receiver must be repaired before the wealth can flow. This is why you must equip your mind with the right tools. You cannot fix a broken biological receiver by simply wishing it was completely healed. The elite 1% understand this, and they use precise scientific instruments to accelerate the process. They bypass the conscious struggle entirely and go straight into the programming phase. You must learn to do exactly the same. Your conscious mind needs strict discipline, but your subconscious needs intervention. It needs the specific acoustic frequency I mentioned earlier to finally wake up. The drifter waits for a miracle, while the creator engineers his own luck. You must prepare your physical brain to receive the massive wealth the universe has prepared for you. Stop waiting for the storm to simply pass. Stop what you are doing and listen to me very carefully. You have spent years running in circles and burning yourself out for nothing. You have sacrificed your peace for a system that was built to keep you broke, but tonight you have the rare opportunity to finally break that generational curse. Will you take the necessary step to permanently change it? You must begin to act as if the victory is already yours. Walk with the cold calmness of a king who already owns the world. Even if your bank account is empty, your posture must scream of total abundance. The universe responds to the physical energy you project into the room. If you act like a beggar, you will remain a beggar forever. Your environment must reflect the empire you are trying to build. You cannot build a massive fortune in a room filled with chaos and clutter. Clean your workspace and organize your physical surroundings with extreme intention. Order in the physical world creates order in your spiritual mind. A cluttered room is a sign of a scattered and weak mind. You must view every previous failure as nothing but pure data. The drifter cries over his mistakes and lets them destroy his fragile confidence. But the sovereign commander looks at failure with cold calculation and zero emotion. He extracts the lesson and immediately adjusts his aggressive strategy. Failure is simply the universe testing your absolute resolve. When you combine this confident posture with a rewired subconscious, everything changes. The doors that were locked tight will suddenly swing wide open for you. The right people will find you and offer you exactly what you need, and it will feel like magic, but it is simply the law of the universe responding to your new frequency. You become completely undeniable and unstoppable. But how do you actually install this frequency into your brain tonight? How do you guarantee that your shrunken hippocampus finally wakes up and starts pulling in wealth? The theory is useless if you do not have the exact physical mechanism to make it happen. You must secure the biological advantage that the elite have hidden from you. In the final section of this message, I will give you the exact key. I will reveal the verified protocol that forces your brain to attract massive wealth. The time for drifting is officially over, and the time for absolute dominion is here. Prepare yourself to make the most important decision of your entire life. The time for drifting is officially over. You have heard the absolute law of the universe. You now know that every excuse you have ever made was nothing but a shadow. And the invisible wall standing between you and massive wealth is simply a biological block in your own tired mind. You must decide exactly who you are tonight. Will you return to the chaos of the masses and continue to suffer? Or will you step into the quiet power of the 1%? A microscopic wealth attraction frequency is naturally active in the elite. It is driven by a highly developed region of the brain called the hippocampus. The elite pay millions to keep this hidden, but Dr. Thomas Summers refused to keep it a secret. He is a rogue New York City neuroscientist who worked on highly classified experiments. He and his elite team spent years compressing the clinical protocol for hippocampus growth into a simple audio track. Before I tell you what they built, let me tell you about two people who used it. Emma was a former nurse from California who felt completely cursed. She was exhausted and drowning in heavy debt. After just 3 days of listening, she broke the vicious cycle completely. She quit her miserable job and sold her house for way over the asking price. She now travels the beautiful world on passive income while sharing her massive abundance. Michael was a former policeman who started using the audio to scale his business. Within 5 short days, he quadrupled his high-paying clients. He found himself networking with wealthy elites who put him on national television, and he said the journey was almost effortlessly crazy. That is because of what the brilliant researchers finally discovered. They call it the billionaire brainwave. It is not a generic motivation tape. It is a highly engineered 7-minute binaural sound wave designed to directly stimulate your hippocampus and pull it out of dormancy. That is the entirety of the work required. 7 minutes in the morning with your headphones on and your tired eyes closed. You do not repeat forced affirmations. You simply let the precise frequency rewire your brain to receive. The billionaire brainwave is not for everyone. It is for the visionary who has read the books and done the hard inner work. It is for the man who knows his lack of wealth is simply a blocked biological channel waiting to be switched on. Private sessions to reverse a shrunken hippocampus cost thousands of dollars in a clinical setting. Elite billionaires invest massive fortunes to access this exact frequency. What Dr. Summers leaked to the public delivers the exact same neurological shift, and it is available to you today for less than the cost of a few cups of coffee. 4 powerful bonuses are included to support your new reality. You get a digital guide called the Warren Buffett Pyramid to manage your massive wealth. You also receive 7 lazy millionaire habits and an emergency quick cash manifestation audio track. Finally, you get 500 billionaire success stories to keep your mind perfectly anchored in abundance. Here is the deeper truth about waiting. The immense wealth and opportunities you have been praying for are already circling you. The blessing is not missing because your receiver is simply broken. The chosen one who restores their frequency today finally sees the financial windfalls that were always waiting in their path. Delaying means losing your inheritance. Do not look for this on streaming platforms. The tracks circulating under similar names on those platforms have zero binaural entrainment technology encoded. They are dangerous fakes meant to distract you from the truth. The only authentic neurologically active version is available through the link placed in the description and the pinned comment below. This comes with the billionaire's ironclad promise. The universe requires zero financial risk from you. If you do not experience a physical, undeniable increase in your wealth and luck, every penny is returned. It is an energetic exchange governed by complete trust. The link to claim your abundance is waiting in the description and the pinned comment right now. The tool does not replace your ambition or your sacred purpose. It simply repairs your biological receiver so the wealth you visualize can finally materialize in the physical world. Abundance is your natural birthright. Whether you choose that path or not, let us go deeper into preparing your mind. Your billionaire mindset must still walk through the open door. If your intuition confirms that the frequency tool described earlier is the missing key to your abundance, the path remains open in the description below. That is the final time I will mention it. What remains now is your ultimate transformation. The closing of this message is meant strictly for your mental sealing. You did not click this video by accident today. You came here as a man, exhausted by the drift and tired of playing the victim to circumstances. But today, you have remembered exactly who you are. You are the mental gatekeeper of your own powerful thoughts. From this night forward, you act independently of cheap motivation. You are a relentless builder. Stand up and claim your throne. You are the architect of your reality, and the world has no choice but to bend to your disciplined mind. The drifter will hear this and do absolutely nothing, but the creator will equip himself with every tool available to secure his empire. Make a decision right now, because hesitation is the absolute death of destiny. Write your definite purpose in the comments below. Let those written words be the sacred contract you sign with the universe tonight. Subscribe to this channel if you belong to the 1% who refuse to live an average life. Listen to this lesson again and again until it is permanently installed in your brain. Your new life begins in this exact moment.